check this out. So just a little something, lighten the mood up. I want to encourage so many of you guys out there that are creatives, man. With the launch of the Rippaverse and the launch of everything it is that, we've been able to do in the comic book industry, and I'm not the only one, and I certainly won't be the last. I've been able to meet so many creative people among just so many different industries in entertainment through these connections that I've had just by creating a book, which has been awesome. And I've seen just a level of talent that's out there. And this is why I encourage you to create if you have a creative bone in your body. There's a lot of people out there that are still working for the mainstream, and there's a lot of people that don't want to do that anymore. A lot of diamonds in the rough, a lot of just talented, insanely talented people. And I want you to get out there and create. I know sometimes it can be very discouraging for people to do that because, well, in order to get the stuff out there in the first place, you have to have this thing manifest itself in some way. And sometimes it's more or less expensive depending on what industry you're in. It's not cheap to create and distribute your own books. You're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. I can say the same thing with film. I can say the same thing with animation. I can say the same thing with a lot of different angles of entertainment. It's risky if you are a business owner, but I do believe there's a lot of opportunities for collaborative efforts. And I encourage that, and I think that should happen, where people, no matter where they're at on any given topic, can create and feel free. And it can be like of old when people, and that's not going to happen until it changes, where people can just create and don't have to feel like, well, I might say something that differs from some other person politically. Not saying like where there's an act of aggression. I'm saying just some social view or something on a movie for that matter, disagree, and that might end my entire thing that I got going here. See, that's an environment where creatives can't really create. I say this all the time. They're holding ideological guns to each other and waiting to cancel each other. That's the mainstream right now, and it's quite pathetic. But it can be corrected, and it won't be corrected until the alternatives rise. But you get discouraged not only because of the work, but because of what you're going to have to certainly deal with. And I want people, and this is the point of the video, I guess. I want people to understand that you have more tools. The means have been decentralized more than they ever had, right? Short films can be made because people can get a camera like this or a DSLR that's not as expensive, and you can make it look something that's just comparable, right? So that's what I mean when I say the means have been decentralized. Social media has allowed us to not have to go through whatever firm or publication or publishing house in order to get the word out for a project. People can do it on their own, through whatever network that they've built, through just being themselves on the internet. Social media has allowed that to happen. It's something that wasn't a thing prior, but now you have access to those sorts of tools. This isn't the time to be discouraged, but a lot of people are discouraged is because even the alternatives are still thinking through looking through the lens of what was of old, where you had to do that. So people think that it's much harder than what it is. And I'm not saying that means that it's easy. No, because it will be difficult. But as difficult as it was before, doing stuff like this is unheard of. Doing stuff like ISOM is unheard of. But now it's very doable. You should be encouraged. You should be encouraged more than you ever had been. Right now is the time to create. It's the time to get out there and be great. And I believe that if you can't do, because not everybody knows everything. And that's the beauty of helping your fellow man. That's the beauty of entering in business with people that are like-minded, because it's not about even masking your deficiencies, because everybody is going to have that. Not everybody can do everything. This is why I talk about the Rippaverse. We surrounded ourselves with some great people, man. The employees that I have over here at the Rippaverse are rock stars, man. And I am blessed and I'm thankful certainly for them and the work that they do. That's more of what we need. You can make that vision come to life by linking up with people that have skill sets. And you can ensure that they can do their best work. You know why? Because they're not under the pressure that the mainstream is right now, where it becomes of, oh, I might think different, or I can't be public with my thoughts. We don't got to do that anymore. You should be encouraged. Because the means have been decentralized more than they ever have. I get it. You got jobs, you got other things that you got to deal with in order to get there. But everybody does that. I had that before I got to this point. But it can be done, certainly more than it ever could be before. So don't get discouraged if you are one of those that know. I'm not talking about the people that are delusional, right? There are people that think that they are talented and they far overstate how good it is that they are. This is why I say being good and beating on your craft is the best thing that you can possibly do. Nobody's going to be perfect. I shouldn't even have to say that. Actually, I retract what it is that I just said, because that goes without saying. But you can beat on your craft and you can get better at what it is, whatever it is that you do. And wait till it is presentable. After you've become good, wait till it is presentable to an audience of willing customers and willing buyers. But once you do that, and if it's solid, you got to get people enthusiastic about it. Make no mistake. But if it is solid, you are going to reap the benefits economically and certainly creatively. Get these emails of people like, hey, how do I go about this? And, you know, emails and tweets from people. Just, man, it's you know, the certain people won't publish my work because of this, and that. And it's like, dude, you thinking about it through the old way. You know, how do I promote my stuff? Dude, just get out there and give it a shot. Just by sheer way of just something like YouTube and becoming, you know, connecting with the audience. That puts you ahead of these quacks that are in, or hacks, more accurately, that are in the mainstream, who are high and mighty and on their little pedestal. They ain't interacting with their audience. That's not what it is that they do. They don't have to. So you're looking to get fame and success, but through old, outdated, like, metrics, man. That's of old. None of that matter. I told y'all, even the smoke and mirrors with the comic book stuff and the industries and the sales, which are now no longer public. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors, man. It's you'd be surprised just how, I told y'all, like with ISOM, according to what Comichron has published, over the last years, we outsold all of the graphic novels of the previous years. With ISOM, those graphic novels don't do, of course they don't do as well as the cheaper, like, books and stuff like that, that are like, you know, $4 for 20 pages with 8 of them being ads or whatever it is. Like, that's not what it is. That this what they considered it a graphic novel. Those books are easy to be, I don't want to say easy. They're easier, so let's say that, to be competitive in. We destroyed them with no mainstream support, no libraries purchasing it, no state funds, none of that, no cosigns by the big dogs, none of that stuff. We did what we did just by simply being great. You should be not discouraged as a creative if you are good at what it is you do. You should be encouraged. It is a great time, and you are maybe can get at the beginning stages of this. We are going to enter a cultural entertainment renaissance. You might as well give it a shot. Not everybody's going to succeed, but if you do got a creative bone in your body, you might as well give it a shot. It's going to take work. But to be fair, anything worth giving it a shot on is worth, you know, it's going to be difficult. Let's say that. So give it a shot. Wherever you're viewing the content, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, you may be interested in my comic book company, Rippaverse Comics. Our first book and campaign, ISOM #1, brought in $3.7 million with tens of thousands of satisfied customers.
Visit Rippaverse.com to check out our store and stay up to date with the latest campaigns from one of the hottest new comic book companies. Also, my first big step towards a parallel economy was the development of my personal website, ericdjuly.com. This entirely replaced my Patreon. Now, if you enjoy this content, please consider becoming a member over at the website. We have an ever-expanding list of perks for various membership tiers, a forum, and a phone app. Some of these perks will even benefit you if you're fans of the Rippaverse. Anyway, I appreciate you so much for being a supporter and or customer. I even got a little love for my haters.